Welcome to this vlog. Today is my birthday.
So earlier this day, the first thing that I started up was with this concoction is basically the pump products for goals, pre-workout, and creatine. That's gonna help me out with this push workout. So once on the gym, the first thing that I do is warm up my shoulder blades and also rotator cuff, which is super important. So here I'm basically warming up the shoulders, and something that is super important is that at the beginning I started to develop a lot of shoulder pain. I was because I was not doing a proper warm up. I was basically going to the gym and banging up the weights without working first on warming up all the shoulders and back and whatever muscle or joints I was working out that day. So this one, for example, is really important to open up that chest, and it is gonna help you out a lot of with the rotator cuff. So on this warm up here, I'm gonna be building up the movement, and it's gonna be first from bottom to top, and then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna stretch that those shoulders, and also that's gonna help me out engaging the lats in the upper motion. Now here I'm going full motion, and it's gonna help me out with the rotator cuff and also engaging the back. So this the engagement of the back is super important for when you're bench pressing. And as you can see here, I'm doing some rows with the bands, and it's gonna help me out setting up warming up the back and setting my mind to muscle connection. That way, once I'm in the bench press, I can engage the back, so I can better. So here I'm going with the wide and close grip push-ups to engage the chest. And last but not least, I'm doing this stretch on the bench. I saw this in another YouTube channel. I don't remember the exact YouTube channel, but it was intrigued me. So I tried to implement it on my workouts, and it really works. Basically, here I'm stretching the chest, and after I'm doing this stretch, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna drop down the bar to my chest as slow as possible, and then I'm gonna explode. That's gonna help me, setting up my bench, and also lowering the bar as as straight as possible. And what I'm doing here, I'm treating this if I were lifting some weight. So now I set up a little bit of weight, and this is super important, is the hands placement. So here I'm not going too wide or too narrow. I'm going to to the first rim on the bar, and that's gonna help me out use as much my chest and not that much the my triceps. So when I'm pressing, I'm thinking on on going slow and then exploding. After this, what I'm gonna be doing, I'm gonna go to incline dumbbell press. And when I'm doing this, there is a lot of people that they go to the bottom of the the full motion. Now if you do this, you are gonna be using a lot of your shoulders, and it defeats the purpose. I prefer go down, but not that down, and then really contract the upper part of the pec, which is gonna be it's gonna be the key of this exercise. So instead of as you can see here, I'm going on 60. I can go on 80 or 90, but I really want to feel the reps. So here I'm gonna go and do some overhead presses. So as you can see here, when I'm doing this, I'm thinking on pushing my head through the bar, and as you can see, the hand placement is a little bit narrow, and the reason why I'm doing this is to force my elbows to go in a motion that is in front of my body. So that's to avoid, shoulder injuries. So here I'm gonna go and do some overhead tricep extensions. So as you can see here, the motion is super controlled. So I'm thinking here when I'm doing this that I'm one with the cable. So whatever my arms goes, the cable is gonna go. I don't let the cable control me. I'm controlling the weights. So same thing goes to this one. This one is triceps push down. So you can see here, the first thing that I did, and I didn't emphasize that much on the video, is to roll back my shoulders. That way I'm leaving everything to the triceps. So here I'm controlling at all time and not dropping the weights and not letting the weights pull me, up. So what I'm doing is, I'm not ego lifting. I can go higher, but this is like my sweet spot. So on this one, it's a really good exercise, and I recommend on this type of machines to go like super light and high reps and controlling the weight. This is more for feeling that burn. And you're gonna see something, a variation that I do on this exercise, which is basically it's gonna be right about now. I'm gonna go on half rep and then I'm gonna go full motion. That's gonna help me a lot with the mind muscle connection when doing this exercise with the tricep, and also it's gonna give you like a blast pump. Trust me, try this, and and you tell me about it later. It's a really good exercise. So on this one, as I told you, I'm going high reps, low weight, but controlling every single rep. So right after this, what I'm gonna be going, I'm gonna go to the cable station, and I'm gonna target my chest, the lower part, the middle part, and also the upper part of the chest. So right now I'm going super light, but I'm gonna be focusing on contracting my chest as much as possible and controlling all the all the motion. So basically I try to do this 12 to 15 reps on the lower chest. Then I'm gonna drop down the the mechanics into mid weight. That way I can target more of the middle of the pecs. I'm gonna repeat that, and then I'm gonna load everything to the bottom. That way I can target the upper pec. So as you can see here, I'm gonna be lowering. That's around like 12 in this type of machine. So that's like my sweet spot. And then here I bring the the weights to the front. That way I don't have any tears or anything. And then I open up slow, and then really contract the pecs. You see on the middle of my pecs, you can see the whole contraction. And since this is super high volume and you're going low weight, the pump, trust me, it's gonna be insane. If you can see on my face, I'm literally suffering there. So last but not least, I'm dropping the machine, and I'm adjusting a little bit the pin. On this one I'm not changing the weight because with the motion, this pin for some reasons always like try to come up a little bit. So here I pick up the weights, and I'm gonna do the same thing. So something that I want to talk to you about, when I was doing this one, for example, I was feeling a lot of the shoulder. So not a pain or anything, but it defeats the purpose of the upper chest. So what I did after, and sadly I didn't record it, is that I did the same thing but with only one hand on the on the upper part of the chest part of this exercise. So basically in another day I'm gonna show you how I do this, but I was with that modification I was feeling way more the chest contraction. And something that allowed me to do is that I hand place my hand on the upper chest, which allows me to focus more on that mind to muscle connection. So just to wrap up this session, I finish up doing some knee raises and also ab crunches with weights, and that's basically it. Hope you like it, and please share with me anything that you want to to tell me to improve.